Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about payment of GST. Now, there are three ledgers which are there on the website. Once you log in to your account, there is a e-liability ledger, e-credit ledger, and the third one is e-cash ledger. These are the three ledgers which are there online. Now what comes in e-liability ledger? My entire output tax plus any tax which I have to pay under RCM, these two come in e-liability ledger. E-credit ledger would have my input tax credit, and in e-cash ledger I will have to deposit money. See, what is the aim? We have done output tax minus ITC, that is tax payable which has to be paid to government. So whatever is the output tax plus RCM payable, that has to be entered in e-liability. The liability has to be discharged using e-credit and e-cash. Okay. Now, e-liability has four major heads: IGST, CGST, S/UT or cess, and it has 5 minor heads, and the 5 minor heads are tax, interest, penalty, fee, others. These are the 5 minor heads. That means totally there are 20 sub-ledgers. A person under GST could have 20 types of liabilities: I tax, C tax, S tax, cess, I interest, I penalty, I fee, I others. Totally 20 liabilities. E-credit has 4 major heads: I, C, SUT and compensation cess, and minor head only 1. Why? Obviously you can take ITC only of tax. Now the question which arises is, can I use the ITC of tax to pay this liability of tax? The answer is obviously yes. Can I use tax to pay interest, penalty, fee, others? The answer is no. So remember one thing, that tax can be adjusted only to pay a liability of tax, not to pay interest, penalty, fee, others. That means, can I say these 4 are always required to be paid through e-cash ledger? To be paid through e-cash ledger. Correct? Okay. There are other 3 amounts which are always required to be paid through e-cash ledger. The first one is any amount of tax payable under RCM. RCM has to be paid in cash because the document based on which you pay cash, that will be used for claiming ITC. Second, composition dealer. Obviously you understand this, that a person under composition scheme has to pay tax through e-cash ledger because he cannot utilize ITC. Correct? And the third one, which you don't learn at this level, is TDS and TCS. So any person who is required to deduct tax or collect tax which is under GST, that has to be paid through e-cash ledger. You cannot use e-credit ledger. Clear with this much? Okay. Then moving towards the adjustment methodology. I can be adjusted against I, then I can be used against C and S, any order, any proportion. CGST with CGST, then C with I, and finally S/UT with S/UT, and then finally against I. So this is the order of utilization of ITC. See, whatever I have written here is tax paid on purchase, which becomes my ITC, and this is tax collected on sale, which becomes my output tax. So there is a methodology given, and then here the law also says any order, any proportion. Clear with this? Okay. Then e-cash ledger. Will it have all major and minor heads, 20 subledgers? The answer is yes. It looks same as e-liability. The major heads will be I, C, S, U, T or cess, and the minor heads will be tax, interest, penalty, fee, others. Now, e-cash ledger is very strict because any amount lying in I-tax. So, if you have deposited money in I-tax, you can use it only to pay a liability of I-tax. Be very careful. If you have deposited money in e-cash of I-tax, you can use it only for I-tax. Nothing more, nothing less. So, sir, I-cash if I deposit, can I use it for I-penalty? No. Can I use it for C-tax? No. Can I use it for S-tax? No. S-interest? No. A particular major minor head should be used only against that particular major minor head. But thereafter, the law gave some flexibility saying that you can transfer money from one subledger to another subledger. Say suppose you have money in I-tax. Can you transfer it to I-penalty or I-fee? The answer is yes. Can you transfer it to C-penalty, C-interest, S-penalty, S-interest, S-fee? Yes. Within e-cash ledger, it is completely allowed. Section 49 read with section 53A clearly provides that yes, transfer can be made within the e-cash ledger. So you can transfer money from I-tax to any other led and then you can use it to pay the same liability. But remember, even today, if you want to pay I-penalty and you have money lying in I-tax, first step will be to transfer this money to I-penalty and thereafter you can use it to pay I-penalty. Clear with this? Yes. Remember this always. E-cash ledger is strict. A particular major minor head can be used only against that major minor head, but there is flexibility given that you can transfer the amount from one subledger to another subledger. No restrictions at all. There is a form GST PMT 09 which is filed to transfer money within e-cash ledger. Remember one thing, this is not allowed for e-credit ledger. The same thing cannot be done there. Okay. Now let's understand how do we deposit money in e-cash, and while doing that we will learn various provisions. Let's see. Now say suppose I log into my online account, that is on gst.gov.in. I click on create challan. Once I click on create challan, thereafter I will have to enter the amount. All the subledgers will open. Sir, what subledgers? Those 20 subledgers which you just saw will open. You will have to enter the amount. Where do you want deposit money to be reflected? So you will enter the amount. Thereafter you will click on submit and a challan is generated. Now the moment challan is generated, you get a CIN. Now what is this CPIN? CPIN is Common Portal Identification Number. This is a 14-digit number which signifies that the challan is generated successfully. Have you paid the tax till now? The answer is no. But the moment you generate a challan, a Common Portal Identification Number is communicated to you. Once the challan is generated, thereafter you can make the payment through net banking. You can make the payment through NEFT RTGS. You can also make the payment through over the counter. Now sir, what is this over the counter? Over the counter is by going to the bank, giving cash, giving check, giving demand draft and getting the challan paid. That is called as over the counter. See, government wants to encourage digital payments and that's why over the counter there is a restriction. And what is the restriction? The restriction is the maximum amount which you can pay through over the counter is 10,000 per tax period per challan. That's it. So, for a regular scheme person, what is a tax period? Monthly. For a composition scheme, what is the tax period? Quarterly. So, for a tax period up to 10,000 per tax period, you can pay over the counter. Over and above this, it has to be NEFT, RTGS or net banking. Understood? Okay. Now, the second important discussion in this is those cases where this limit of 10,000 does not apply. That means in these cases, any amount can be paid through over the counter. The first one is government department. Obviously, government department can pay any amount through over the counter. Second, any person notified by commissioner. And the third one is during recovery proceedings or during search, seizure, etc. Recovery proceedings where the department is recovering money. In such cases, obviously, they can recover it in cash. They don't have to first tell the person to deposit in bank account and then take a net banking transaction. So these three cases, any amount can be paid through over the counter modes. Okay. The moment you complete the payment, you get a CIN. Once the payment is complete. This is Challan Identification Number. This is a 17-digit number. And each CIN is linked to a BRN. Bank Reference Number. Bank reference number varies from bank to bank. Every bank provides it separately and they maintain it separately to link it with the CIN. That is the basic meaning of bank reference number. Here, you should also understand one very important point is, first, you have to always pay your previous tax period dues, then current tax period dues, then any other amount, including any amount payable based on a notice or order under 73-74. 73-74 are not there for your syllabus. 73 deals with notice in case of other than fraud cases. 74 deals with notice in case of fraud cases. Plus, if a person has not paid his tax, then the recipient would not get ITC. This we had discussed in section 16. One of the conditions for taking ITC is supplier has paid the tax to government. Okay. Remember one thing, whenever you deposit money in eCash ledger, it gets credited to your account. Thereafter, once you use it, it will be debited. Yes? Okay. Now, if there is a late payment, will there be a late fee applicable? No. If there is a late payment, interest will be applicable. Remember the difference between late fee and interest. Late fee is for delayed filing of returns and interest is for delayed payment of tax. Interest will be applicable at 18% per annum from the due date till the date of payment. This is given in section 50. But remember, only if you delay filing return. In that case, if you have reported that late, that means you have also paid taxes late. In such cases, interest will be applicable. But remember, one very important thing is, do you pay interest on gross tax, that is output, or do you pay it on net tax, that is tax payable after adjusting output? So, CBIC had clarified earlier that it has to be gross tax. It created a lot of issues. And finally, the law was amended saying that it would apply only on the net tax payable. That means if output is 1 lakh, ITC is 80,000, then interest will apply only on 20,000. But say suppose a person files GST return after he has received notice under 73-74, then this relief of interest on net tax will not be available. Then interest will apply on entire amount. Okay. Say suppose a person pays C plus S instead of I. He has paid, not deposited in e-cash. He has paid it, that means it is adjusted towards the liability. But instead he had to pay IGST. He realizes it later. In that case, the law says you pay I and claim refund of C plus S. Pay I and claim refund of C plus S. But will interest be applicable on such payment of I? The answer is no, interest will be applicable. Clear with this? So remember one thing, vice versa is also true. Like if I have paid I instead of C plus S, then what should I do? I should pay C plus S and claim a refund of I. Will interest be applicable? The answer is no, interest would not be applicable in such cases. Clear? So first we started with all the three ledgers. We understood that there is complete synchronization between the ledgers. There are rules given for the usage of ledger. Then we entered into how to create a challan. What is CPIN, Common Portal Identification Number, CIN, Challan Identification Number, BRN, Bank Reference Number. And then we understood the limit of up to 10,000 per tax period. If you pay a different type of tax because of wrong place of supply, in such cases, you'll have to pay the correct tax, claim a refund of the wrong tax which was paid, plus interest will not apply. And gross tax, interest will apply only if return is filed after notice is issued under 73-74. Otherwise, interest is applicable on the net tax. From which date? After the due date till the date of payment of such tax. And you remember the due date? Say suppose a transaction is of April, the due date for payment of tax is 20th May. Clear? Okay. See you in the next.